What is going on, everyone? RileyGotGrails, and today I just wanted to make a short video covering a question that I often get from you guys, and that is, what is consignment and what pair should I consign? So I believe when I made my REFERAL consignment videos, I kind of briefly covered the topic, so I just wanted to make a more dedicated video covering the whole consignment process and kind of what it is and how I do it. So without further ado, what is consignment? Consignment is essentially the process of supplying a store with inventory that they go and sell for you, taking a small fee of the sale. So why exactly should you do consignment? So consignment, in my opinion, is really great because it is very easy to do. You really just have to get supply and then send it out to multiple different stores, kind of diversifying your inventory. There are a lot higher profit margins per pair or per sale, even after the fees. It's a lot easier to make money that way for people with a low clientele. It takes the stress of having to find buyers all the time when you're getting in new pairs. But with that being said, of course, there's always downsides. So the biggest downside with consignment, especially now that it's becoming more mainstream, is the time it takes for your pairs to sell. So I've had a few pairs sit on some consignment shops for as long as half a year. And when you don't really have a lot of capital, it can be very costly to have your pairs sitting there, because that is money that you can't be reinvesting and you can't be making more money off of. Consignment also has something that I like to call a seasonal success. So with the pairs taking a long time to sell, the seasonal success is essentially you will see a lot more sales, or there will be a lot more sales during Christmas time and back to school time, whereas throughout the rest of the year, the sales are usually a lot slower and you won't get as many. And also a big issue that I've seen with consigning to stores that aren't local to you is getting a hold of them and getting your pairs back. So for instance, with the REFERAL, they're located in Los Angeles and I was located in Texas. It took me a month to withdraw my pairs and get them back, on top of the fact that it was very difficult for me to reach out to them and see how my pairs were doing. And so that is a very big downside, especially for beginners, because you have to realize that even though you're not making $50 or $60 a pair that you could be making on consignment, it's sometimes better just to take the $10 or $20 profit but get that shoe moved in less than a week, whereas it could take up to a month, if not longer, on consignment. When it comes to reselling, it's also about connections. You don't make as many connections, especially with other resellers, when you do consignment, because you're strictly working with a single store or a few stores. And the biggest thing about reselling is knowing people and being able to constantly get inventory. And without kind of building a name for yourself, that's very difficult to do consistently and profitably. So where can you find consignment shops? So there are a lot of consignment shops now. I recommend starting locally. That is what I did when I first got into consignment. I just searched up sneaker stores near me and I messaged every single one. And I believe there was about 5 or 10 that were about 30 minutes or less from me. And out of all of those, there was only 2 that did consignment. And that is how I started doing consignment. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Flight Club and Stadium Goods. Flight Club used to be probably one of the best consignment platforms in my opinion, because your pairs sold for crazy rates and they were super easy to work with, and the sales were a lot of the times pretty much instant. Flight Club now is not so good. Ever since they merged with Alias, the profit margins are extremely low, and at some points it's honestly better just to sell on GOAT or StockX than consigning with Flight Club. But if you do look at some of the older pairs on Flight Club, there is still profit to be made. You just kind of have to look for a little bit more of those retro and or older, more popular pairs as well, like the Bread 4s and things like that. Now, Stadium Goods, I personally don't have too much experience with Stadium Goods. I've sent a pair every now and then in that I knew I couldn't really move well at a local store, and it's sold. I've had no issues with them. I did actually just send them in about 15 pairs of like some of my leftover like active fuchsia dunks, my Midnight Navies. I had one or two pairs of those, just random SKUs. I'll keep you guys posted on how Stadium Goods goes. The margins do seem to be pretty decent on most of the pairs, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. Now, talking about what pairs to consign, as I said, I recommend consigning with local stores. Like I said, reach out to stores, see if they offer consignment, and if they do, the best thing I could say is ask them what pairs do they need, what moves well for you, what is a pair that you always get asked about, things like that. Ask them questions so where you're not giving them inventory they already had. At the end of the day, consignment is about scaling how much money you make by working with stores and being able to provide stores with an abundance of pairs. And by doing so, you need to know what moves well and what is worth your time trying to source. I would say that in general, most pairs that move are things like Dunks, those move great. Hype Jordans, Yeezy slides are really good movers, foam runners, things like that. Things that have always been very popular and are constantly like sought out for. I recommend staying away from newer releases. Those typically, one, as we see, reselling is not the same. New releases don't really perform that well. And two, a lot of the times, people aren't really going to a sneaker shop to get the newest shoe that just came out. They're usually coming to find a pair that they've had in the back of their mind, something that they know that they've always wanted, and that is probably what they're going to buy. So as someone who has been consigning for about a year now, I do have experience, but it's also limited compared to other sellers or other consigners. I personally recommend, I'll pop it up right now, check my description, Sneaker Invest, who is someone that I've looked up to and who's helped me get into consignment, made a great video, slightly more in depth than mine, talking about consignment. He runs something now called Sneaker Consign, which is essentially a software that stores can use to do consignment. And that is really great because if there are local stores near you that don't have consignment set up or don't have a good way of doing that, this is a way that they can kind of pipeline their consignment process into a way that is super beneficial for the store and for you. And also, I personally joined SP Exclusive, which is a private Discord group ran by J Money Kicks. If you don't know who he is, check him out on Instagram. He's a really cool guy. But essentially what the server is it's a way for you to, one, get connected with a bunch of other resellers that are always there to help you, but it also provides you with all kinds of information. If you're interested in like doing Amazon FBA, they have that. They talk about stock, like trading stocks. They do brick flips. They have already a list of established sneaker stores that do use Sneaker Consign that you can consign with today. So if you don't really know where to start, if you're still trying to get into reselling as it is, and you're not sure if consignment is for you yet, this is a great group that I would say you should definitely check out. It costs about $35 a month. And if you use my referral code below, I will pay $10 of your subscription for the first month if you're looking to check it out. Like I said, this is not paid, but if you're looking to check it out, I would recommend also checking out the Instagram. All the information will be in the description. But yeah, that about sums up my quick guide to consignment in 2023. I believe consignment is the new era of reselling. As we see online marketplaces, the prices are falling, the margins are not there like they used to be. And I don't think it's because reselling is dead like some people think. I think it's because the game has changed. You guys, of course, just like me, are looking to maximize your time reselling. And that's where I believe consignment is a new era. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, message me on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to return them. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.